Hi, we are officially in March and I'm really happy to see the spring coming here. And it is the time also for me to start my biggest project in painting. I want to apply to my first exposition. I'm a little scared because this will be my first time and I don't know anything about the art world. So I plan to do a series of 4 paintings about women. Obviously, I didn't want to step aside from my comfort zone for this project because it is big enough for me now. So this is why I've done photo reference and sketches about them, and I buy canvas, and now everything is here, everything is ready, and I just have to start painting. I am back in my art studio and I can't wait to start this big painting after doing so much studies. So I start by prepping my canvas, and the first step is to gently sanding it to remove the big imperfections. When the surface is clean and smooth, I move on to the stretching, as I want the canvas to be easier to paint on and most importantly to last over time. So I mist water on the back of the canvas and brush it so the water goes really everywhere. And then I do the same thing on the front of the canvas, mist it and brush the water, and I can feel that this is already stretched. Then I insert the small wooden wedges into the corners of the frame, and with a hammer I tap them gently, so this allows the wood to expand slightly and to keep the canvas stretched over time. Then I spray some water again and apply the first coat of gesso, making sure to brush in all directions so it fills any small imperfections on the canvas. And then I repeat this process 1 or 2 times, sanding and another coat of gesso until I have a really soft surface to work on. On a canvas this large, I want to feel more confident, and just like in my last painting, I start by drawing a large grid to help me get the proportions right. And I am marking key elements before building all the drawing around them. The last step is a thin layer of colored acrylic for an underpainting, so I don't have to start with a really blank and white canvas. And now everything is ready. I just take a moment to pack my first sold painting, and I feel so proud to say it. Clicking the button to put it up on my shop was surprisingly difficult, but it sold in less than 2 days, and I was so excited to prepare it and sending it. I truly appreciate it when you purchase my prints or a painting from the shop. You are supporting me as an artist and just the art in itself. And this means so much to me to know that my work can find a place on your walls in your house. We are going back to our painting, which unfortunately I didn't film, and which is giving me quite a bit of trouble. I don't like this painting, and I decided yesterday with my boyfriend that I need to redo it from the start. If you don't see what is wrong, because maybe you are not used to look at pictures and paintings, the colors are not working together really well. The background is cool and the person is warm. The clothes were supposed to be white and they appear pink. It really seems like the person is detached from the background, and I don't like that. So I'm really disappointed in myself, because it is normal that sometimes you don't like what you do. It means that you are improving. It means that you know what you have to do to make it better the next time. But I felt so ready for this one. I did a lot of studies, and my mistake is that I did sketches of pose and composition and details, and they are not my weakness. I did these studies because I found them fun to do, but my weakness is colors. We can see it here because the composition and the proportions are really good. Also, I decided that this painting needs to be done by today, and it is today, and I have nothing, and I have to work on color studies before trying again, because I will do the same mistakes. So the next morning I woke up early and took my time sitting on the couch with Inky, and I scrolled through Pinterest and the websites of artists I admire. I wanted to understand how they make white backgrounds work and how they manage to integrate the person in it. And I realized this is going to be more difficult than expected. Very few paintings use white backgrounds, and it have a reason. It doesn't really feel natural on a painting, and mostly it doesn't enhance skin tones the way I hoped. C'est bien. Mais je crois que j'ai faim là.
Pas déjeuner?
Moi j'ai pas déjeuné.
Ah bon?
Bah non, je te attendais. And this morning I also took the time to gather all my unsigned and unvarnished paintings. If you like to watch me varnish all of these paintings, I actually made a dedicated video about it. This is the last stage, and this is always a bit difficult for me. First, because it's hard to decide when a painting is truly finished, and then I have to determine whether it deserves to be sealed with varnish or if I want to use the canvas, because it is expensive to create something better on top. And also because I don't like signing my paintings. I feel like it doesn't belong in the image, so I always try to make my signature as discreet as possible. We are back again in the studio. I have my Pinterest board filled with references and I need to test a few theories I've come up with. So I take the same reference image and create a small color study in my sketchbook with all the paintings that works beautifully on the side to get inspired. And this time I use much less saturated tones and maybe too much, it was really grey. And trying to keep the contrast softer between the background, the figure and the clothing. Comme c'est gris. All of this was a little bit frustrating, but I learned so much in this process.
Du coup, par exemple, peut-être après ce sera mieux que...
Sometimes we don't realize how much we need to learn to understand something and to make it work, and this time I learned a lot.
Ça me paraît quand même très gris.
I have new glasses, as you can see, and this is the only new thing in my life because the first painting is still here. I add some colors on it, so it's not as bad as it was, but it's not as good as it needs to be. So the colors is really better, but I see that this doesn't work. And I've done new studies on my sketchbook. Like this one. And this one. And this one. And I see now that I really like the dark backgrounds because it makes the person brighter, and I like that. I don't need to start over this painting, but to start over the entire series. And I don't know if I can do this in a month. Let's go. I have a lot of work to do.